Hey guys, I have a mini art journal page to share with you today in my little chunky mini art journal that I made for the Our Mixed Media Moods February project. And I have this page that I want to cover up. So I have this paper by 7 Dot Studio. I believe it's from the Nature Walk collection. It's an older collection from 7 Dot Studio. And I'm just going to trim that down to 4x4 because that's the size of the pages in my journal. And I must have measured wrong because there's a little bit of paper sticking out, but we'll take care of that later. So I ran the whole thing through my sewing machine to get some wonky stitches around the edges, and then I'm just going to use this double-sided tape to adhere the whole thing. I got this tape from Tuesday Morning. I think it's from American Crafts, and it's just a lot of work putting it down and then getting the little red strips off, and I don't know, but we'll see how well it holds. So I'm just going to trim that little extra edge of paper off that hangs over because I don't really care if my pages don't match up exactly. So now I'm going to cover my paper with some clear gesso by Finnabair. And the reason I'm using clear gesso is because I still want to be able to see the pattern from the paper, but I want to protect the paper a little bit because I know I'm going to use a lot of paints and waters and stuff, and I don't want the paper to fall apart, or I just want to make sure there's a layer to protect the paper. And now I have some regular gesso, like white gesso, and this is more for the look than function. I'm spreading it out with a palette knife and it got a little dark, so I take a paper towel sprayed with water and just rub that all over my page to make the background a little muted. And then once I'm happy with the background, I'm gonna take my palette knife and just scrape some of that gesso like around the edges. This is some clear Crackle texture paste by Finnabair and a Tim Holtz stencil called Dot Fade, and I'm just going to apply that around the edges of my page. Now the circles are so small you don't really see that it's like Crackle, but that's okay. It makes texture in the end, so it turns out alright. So once that's dry, I have some embossing powder by Ranger in the color Rose Gold and some Viva VegaStamps stamps. They look like stitching, and then the little one is like supposed to look like staples. And the Rose Gold embossing powder is, I got it in a pack of 4 embossing powders from the Letter It collection by Ranger. I don't know if they sell it other than that or if it's a new color or what, but it is a fantastic pink metallic. I just love this stuff so much. So I'm just going to stamp with embossing ink around my page and then put the embossing powder on it. I'm not trying to get like an exact crisp stamp because it's hard with the texture, and that's not what I'm going for anyway. And then I'm going to heat that. And it is such a delightful pink metallic color. I just love it so much. This is some golden high flow acrylic in Sepia. And I'm going to put a little bit on the top of my page and spray some water to get it moving and dilute it a little bit. It's very pigmented. And I just want a little color to grungy it up a bit. I'm going to do the same to the bottom right corner. This is some Deco Art metallic in teal, and I just love the way this metallic teal pops against like the grungy background. It is so, it's so cool the way the grungy dark background and the bright metallic, it just makes it pop, and I just love the way it looks so much. This is Lindy's Magicals in Guten Tag Teal. I really could have skipped this step. The powder turned quite a green color compared to my background, and I wasn't really that happy with it, so I got rid of most of it, but you can still see it a little bit. Now I have some Tim Holtz paper dolls and some die cuts. It's what's it called? The Tim Holtz Wildflowers die. And I'm just gonna apply all those things with Collage Posh Matte. Once they are all on, I'm taking some Tim Holtz film strip ribbon and these stickers by Tim Holtz. I think they're called clippings. They're supposed to look like cutouts from book pages, and I'm gonna back my sentiment strip on that film strip ribbon. It just makes it stand out a little bit more. And at first I tried to glue it down, but because it's plastic and it's kind of like curled, it was not staying. So I just took a Tim Holtz tiny attacher and stapled it into place. Then I'm going to outline my paper dolls with a Stabilo Marksaw just on the one side to give them like a little bit of a shadow, but my glue was still a little bit wet, so it got kind of funky, but and then I'm going to add a little bit of that Stabilo to the edges too, to just get it a little more grungy. And then I'm just going to scribble that Stabilo Marksaw on my nonstick craft sheet, add some water, and then use that for splatters across my page. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my page today. Give me a thumbs up if you did, or leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you just want to say hi. There's going to be a list of supplies. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to link the supplies, but there will be a list of what I used at the very least. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.